Some of you don't know me. My name is Deepak. I work for SCCM. Started somewhere SMS 3.0. It's too weird telling the same thing again and again. Okay, this time I'm gonna change a little bit. Uh, okay, how to change? Uh, Okay, yeah, I started working on SCCM somewhere in 2006. It's almost 14 years, and we are still on SCCM. I came in SCCM on and off for in between. I left SCCM, jumped to data center, again came back to SCCM. When 2007 launched, I came back for few months, and again went back to backup.
Deepak, sorry. Somebody is saying like they are not able to hear you properly. Can you please adjust your mic?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
1 second. Okay. So am I clearly audible, loud and clear?
Yeah, it's okay now, but it's better now. If you can speak bit loud,
Yeah, sure.
thanks.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. No worries.
So I can hear the mobile vibrating. It's very loud and clear now. Okay, so yeah, so I've been coming on and off, but after SCCM 2012 R2 Service Pack 1, I never left SCCM after that, and I stayed focused on SCCM. Talking about things where okay, I'm still audible, right?
Yes, Deepak.
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay.
Speaking.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, now good.
I'm taking your notes. You said mute all and unmute yourself if you feel the problem. Okay. So yeah. So after 2012, R2 Service Pack 1, I never changed the platform, and I kind of stick to it somewhere around 2011. August, and I think after that I started enjoying. So today's session will be for all the beginners of SCCM platform, and once they join, they get all their access and all, and they start logging in. And they get SCCM console access, partial access, not full administrator, and they have to. The first task is handover, that is SCCM Client Troubleshooting, and they get a standard operating procedure SOP to how to uninstall and install SCCM Client, and they get some 100 numbers so that they can so that we can see how we are so it is dedicated to them, and those who perform that 100 number of troubleshootings of SCCM clients and state they are today they have joined this call, and those who thought of okay it's boring, they are in a different technology. Okay, so congratulations to all of us that we stayed. Okay, so this is a continued session from last, and I don't remember what we covered, but because it was at the place of um, PPT, it was just interactive session. I want to say I was getting a lot of questions and answer. After that, also I received a lot of questions one-on-one on from WhatsApp, and I tried answering them, and if I'm not able to, I tried getting up from any of our community members. I sometimes I disturb my old mentors also. Like I think he would have joined this session, Balakrishna Ji. Uh, and and yeah, so this is our page, www.anoopsinaya.com and howtomanagedevices.com. Please visit at least once, and if you see the work really requires appreciation, please like and subscribe our page. And also we have YouTube channel too. don't hesitate to check that out too. We have a lot of stuff, school stuffs, and a lot of learnings during these lockdowns. We have 12:30 to 1 half an hour Intune free session. You can put up your question, you can do, and Anup is sharing the recording every now. I'm to say every day after the session. I think after 12:30 or 1 around 4:35 o'clock, I'm seeing it is being distributed to all the groups. That is wonderful, and that's how I'm catching up because I don't get up till 12:30 or 1. So this is our agenda: SCCM client requirements, do's, don'ts, how, importance, challenges, automation, WMI questions is what we have planned, and at the place of just dictating and feeding information. As usual, I promised you guys I would like to keep this session interactive and because this is for you guys, and you can stop me at any point if you have any question, or you can ask after this completion. When I say okay, we are done and we have reached to the question part, you can also reach to the chat section, and it's not necessarily that only I have to answer those questions, because there are around 17 of my core team members, and probably most of them are there on this call, and they'll be noticing the chat and they'll be replying to you. But don't hesitate to stop me in between if you don't understand anything. So let's start with SCCM client requirements first. So what do you need? You need where do you install operating system first? OS operating system. So supported operating systems we are supposed to look. You have Windows 10, Windows 7 is still supported, but Windows 10, Windows Server 238 R to Service Pack 1 and above. Anything 64-bit for our 19 after 1910. And you get give me one moment here, please. I just need to see the supporting files which I was setting up. So once you, yeah, so once you execute the, I'm not gonna cover what do you how do you install the SCCM client, because there are a lot of stuffs available on our site, how on anoopsinaya.com. If you say how to install SCCM, if you go and search, there are multiple ways, and it has a brief article available. Like you can leverage any of those methods. But today I'm just going to cover the behind the scenes, what is happening, how it is happening, and what do you need to get it working. Okay, so when you execute CCM setup.exe with those parameters which you have defined, like CCM port and SMS MP, uh, after executing, and if you go to CCM setup.log, you see a lot of requesting control. Race 450. I'm sorry, I cannot give control to anyone. Somebody was requesting control. So yeah. So once you execute, it starts downloading couple of files in Windows CCM setup. You see we see Redis x64 x86 Windows firewall configuration provider, mobile client TCF, which is new now, and mobile client Unicode TCF, CCM setup.cab, CCM setup.exe, and XML, and policy platform setup, and now whoever is on 2002 MECM 2002, they also get the CM 1910 client KB 4537079 MSP. So once, yeah, that is for auto upgrade. So once you go to your Windows CCM setup, you see all these things available there, and you'll be wondering who has kept it there, actually why it got downloaded. So these are all the supporting files which required for your SCCM agent to function properly, so that I mean to say the other supporting files which it uses, like we see, for example, we see that it uses for execution, couple of task executions. Obviously, in log folder, you will find CCM setup.log, and you will find client msi.log, so that you can check with the installation progress. And when you see
Uh,
uh,
sorry, Deepak. Are you sharing something? Because I can only see the
not yet,
agenda.
not
I can see it. I think you need to log off and log in back, disconnect and connect back, because I can see it and other people can also see it, I think.
so what do you see,
Okay.
sir? Actually, you see the SCCM.
Seeing only
Agenda.
agenda
Agenda.
only.
Yeah, I'm there only. I'm there only. Good. So I've not moved actually. Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry
Okay,
about.
let's disconnect and join back.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just keep going with the flow, because
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry
we
to
can see.
interrupt, man.
I,
Rajesh here. So
yeah.
I just disconnected and again joined. Still, I could see the agenda page alone. The participant.
He is showing agenda only, Rajesh.
Yeah.
Then okay, no, thanks, thanks. Sorry for that.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
okay. No worries.
I'm on the first point actually, SCCM client requirements. So uh, I have not moved yet. I have not even moved to do's and don'ts. So if I'm moving, I will definitely ask your permission, so that you will be notified that I'm moving.
So
And okay,
people are expecting to show something like
yeah, I
SCCM
will.
folders.
I,
So
no,
SCCM
so
client folders. That is why I
uh,
think they are asking.
Yeah, that's correct.
uh, okay, so okay, so SCCM client folders. Okay, so I got the point actually. Yeah, but let me go back to where I left. Yeah, so sorry. So all these prerequisites which we are discussing, they also have their own logging mechanism. I'm to say, if there is something wrong with your VC read, how you gonna check that? So there is a log file created again in the same C drive window, CCM setup logs folder. Let me try to share that too. Uh, okay, so I can only share one screen. I think I'm not sharing the whole desktop. I want to cancel desktop. Okay, now you guys see logs and all those things. Can you guys see these?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah. So this is what I was talking
Yes.
about. So okay. So first of all, you see CCM
yes.
setup, yes, you see CCM setup dot log, and you run for this particular line actually, client dot msi installation succeeded, and you see this. This is the state message which is getting forwarded. CCM setup is exiting with return code 0. Uh, how many of you know that this line was previously somewhere here? The CCM setup exit thing. It was previously here. Now it has been moved to here. Okay, so yeah, that's a silly question, but so the only the very first thing I would like to say that is read the logs carefully. Everything is there in the logs. There is nothing coming out of the thin air actually. If you read the logs, you can understand it really properly. So let's go at the beginning. So what it is, this how it is, this how bad it is. Okay, this is my local laptop. Okay, so if you read the log from the starting from the beginning, you're gonna see a lot of things are happening. Okay, and I suggest you read line by line. There was a time where I by hearted these lines actually. just to see what happens. And I was made to by heart from my mentor Balakrishna. So yeah, I really thank him now. On that time, what this guy is telling me to by heart logs. Uh, so that's how you know what you're looking actually into the logs, and what are you searching for. You will be directly pointed to that. Okay, so the first 10 and the last 10. So this is how is the last 10. So this is where is your complete information about what happened with your SCCM client. Yeah, in between the other supporting components which it gets installed, even that you can check again. But if you are having any challenges in any of these supporting components installation, otherwise you're all good. Okay. So now we know, okay, why we need MSXML, why we need firewall, why we Windows firewall installation, why we need VC Red based 64, and all those things. So those are all the supporting components for your SCCM agent. Okay. Next, do's, don'ts. So the guys who are working on Windows Server SCCM agent installation, it is specifically noticed for them that if you are doing any troubleshooting, and if you get into something, any problem or any error or anything, or somebody comes and says that, hey, my this thing is not working, my that thing is not working, I'm unable to deploy. Reinstalling SCCM client is not a fix. Okay, I repeat, reinstalling SCCM client is not a fix, because it is fixed for that particular moment, and you're gonna come back to the same server after 2 days or 3 days. I can bet on that. And again, you're gonna do the same thing, reinstall. At the place of doing reinstalling SCCM client, uninstalling and installing it from scratch is gonna give you 24 hours relief. But again, you're gonna come back to the oxygen. So never think it as a fix. You need to find out what's the actual problem into the server. That's for server infrastructure I'm talking about. And for workstations, yeah, you can tear apart the whole thing. We don't care actually. For server, you should never recreate your WMI repository. Yeah, I'm gonna cover the WMI repository part at the very end, because I have too many things related to WMI. And we are just warming up right now actually. So once we get into those details, we're gonna definitely. So don't ever recreate WMI repository on a Windows Server box. You're gonna really get a lot of problems into, and so many uh, registered softwares installed in that particular server gonna lose the licenses, because couple of third party vendors, they feed their information into WMI, and that's how they survive. So they have their own a place, yeah, the place for repository, which you don't wanna mess with them, because you have yours. You have root CCM, like that repository, even they have their own, and you don't wanna fight with them. So never recreate it on a server. Yeah, again, for workstations, if it's a critical workstation, or if it is attached to a robot, don't do that, I suggest. But if it's a normal user laptop, where just like a IT guy like me, yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want with your part, I don't care. Okay. Now how? So I'm sorry, was that a question? Okay. So do's and don'ts, we are good. We are moving from do's and don'ts to how. So you can see these. I don't know whether this slide will be shared with you guys or not. It's not my this thing decision, but I have given the link on top you can see anoopsinai.com SCCM log files. I say before you start
It's
troubleshooting.
your sorry Deepak, it's fully your decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it with you anyhow actually because you're the owner of this content. So anoopsinai.com SCCM log files. You go there and you read each and every line of that particular page. You can understand what log to check for what. I want to say if, you don't have to run behind Google anymore, saying that I'm stuck with this particular problem and which is the log I'm supposed to check. That has each and every information. Why I'm telling all these things? I can open that here, right? I have internet access. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so you can see the SCCM log readers, IT Pro, SCCM admins. It is for us. There is a beautiful picture also at the right side. In this post, you know how you're gonna do that, and it's essential to troubleshoot and later version of SCCM clients installed with built-in log reader tool, that is cmtrace.exe. Good. Now here is what it gets interesting. He has segregated for our knowing purpose that if a system engineer is troubleshooting, this is the client side logs, so he is gonna refer those for client side logs, and this is a server side log. So if you wanna troubleshoot anything, so you don't mix it, you don't have to read the whole page for client and server both. It has been segregated. You see how it's making easy for us to survive. Okay, so yeah, you go ahead. It has a description for each and every log. Has a description, what it does, how it does, why it does actually. I think so. It will say why it does. Yeah, it says why it does. Okay, and yeah, back to the topic.
Deepak, sorry. Deepak, are you sharing your screen? We can't see anything. At least I can't.
I can see it. Probably it's from your side.
Okay, let me rejoin.
I think
I can see it.
Yeah, I can also see it. Yeah, I can also see it. Yeah.
so. What do you see right now, sir? At the right moment.
I can
It's
see
just
the
gone.
web portal.
Uh,
The
anoopsinai.com.
yeah yeah.
Okay, so everybody saw that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. This is yeah.
Yes, I can see this
Yes, yes.
anoopsinai.com web page.
Okay. Okay. I have majority, so I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move to the next topic. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. I'm running on a tight schedule actually. So yeah. So how you gonna troubleshoot? Uh, how you gonna do that? I just covered. Now what is the importance of doing all this? Why this guy wants me to do all these type of things, hectic works? So now the next topic comes. This is really a very interesting topic, and this is very much beneficial. Okay, so now again, this is from the same site, anoopsinai.com, and it has explained very detailed how to improve overall health of your Windows system along with SCCM client. Okay, with brief description. So I don't think so I have to explain about it because it has I cannot explain better than whatever it's there on the site actually. So it is covering check, repair your SCCM client agent. It is even have the graphs and anything and everything. You can see that it is probably visible. I just highlighted check and repair anything and everything. So this is what we are doing. We are checking and repairing anything and everything, and it is so detailed. It's a little bit of uh, read. Somewhere it mentions how much time it takes to read. Actually, I think it's not there here. Uh, yeah, but this is a good blog actually. I must say, and I got. I think it was written somewhere 2017. So yeah, you can take that, and I suggest you read. And if you come across any questions, you can post on the same blog in the comment section, and we are definitely monitoring that, and we'll be replying as soon as possible. Okay.
So just to give you a bit details in that, right? So that particular blog is using a third party tool, right? So if you don't have
Adaptiva,
the
I
yeah
found.
third party tool, then it would be difficult to troubleshoot in that kind of a fashion. So probably we have some other tools also, right? Free tools available, and I have some blogs about that as well. Probably we can check that also, and we can share the same links with the community in the chat window. I will do
Uh,
that. Thank you,
yeah,
Deep.
sir. Yeah, sir. If you see after the challenge, then next I'm gonna cover that. Even anupsinai.com fix SCCM client issues automation, so that way that has each and everything. We don't have to worry. Okay, I don't want to go with Adaptiva either. And this particular blog is covering each and every information about troubleshooting. So yeah, they
Yeah,
can.
that's a one.
Yeah. Okay. So at the beginning I started the 100 clients I was given to troubleshoot, and I was thinking I have to go to each and every machine, and I have to collect the log. I have to uh, go and read it, and I have to find what is the problem, and then I have to ask. I keep poking Bala that. I just did this and it didn't fix. So he's gonna say, okay, try this. Again, after some time I'll go back. Hey, I tried this, it didn't fix. So he says, okay, try this. And like this, I keep trying. So he knows the answer, but he's not giving me at the very initial moment, because he wanted me to go through each and every time. That's how I learn. Actually, that was a good tactics, which was. So now I don't want to log into 100 machines and collect those details. So Anup has made our life easier. There is a exit code collector PowerShell script. I'm just gonna open it. Yeah. So this collects all the information.
So you can see that is done by Regin,
Yeah,
right?
the author.
Yeah.
I was talking about the site anupsinai.com. Sorry. Yeah, and and he has explained it very properly with each and every context, and you can see why do you need CCM setup exit code, how to use it, what's the error handling, how to download it with the exit code, what's the result of the exit code collector. Mm, Believe me, it is a very good blog actually. Uh, I came to know about it only in 2019. Before that, I think it was written in somewhere 2018. But yeah, after this actually, my guys are thanking me that you saved a lot of time for us. So yeah, you go ahead, read it line by line. Any questions, again, you can leave here in the comment. Yeah, you can leave here, and we will reply. uh, and he's a very active member, Regin, so you don't expect any of us to reply. Even he will reply. Okay. So let me. Yeah. So that was the biggest challenge, that you want me to log into 100 machines and collect what is the problem. No, I can't do that. And that's how we roll now. You can use the parcel script, you can collect all those. Yeah, remember, your account should have access to all those 100 machines which you are trying to access and execution, or either you can use your SCCM service account. Okay, that's a disclaimer. He would have definitely mentioned in the blog probably. Okay. Okay, now the most major part, how to fix the SCCM client. And I don't want to do it manually, and I don't want to do it every day the same thing. So then what you do, you uh, you automate it. Now how you gonna automate it? So you can see my screen, it's visible. Fix SCCM client issues using automation client help. This is a very big and very good blog actually. So I suggest you guys please go through it uh, line by line, and yeah, this is worth it actually reading. This is a good read actually. It has explained how the what the assessment is, how it works, how the it monitors, how it happens, where is the dashboard, where is the non-CB versions, how we identify those issues, how we implement those fixes, how many methods we are using. You can see SSRS, WQL scripts, CM pivot. I'm going to say we are everywhere into this blog. We are not leaving anything untouched. Okay. Also, we have done some great work for you guys here. There are some other possibilities where, apart from the genuine errors, you will find out the other cause which is breaking your infrastructure, which we have covered. Okay, I'm sorry. uh, this is a CCM eval. Probably you guys might know it runs once in a 24 hours. After the at the time of agent was installed, it prints that into the schedule task. Okay, yeah. So this is the very interesting thing because oops, sorry. So you can see you have 29 steps. Okay, and I'm not saying I'm sure, but I'm confident if you read each and every of those, one of your problem will be definitely there from those 29. And then he has done one more good thing for us is 16 common issues he has listed. Uh, that is also comes as a newbie SCCM education training post. You can okay. Let me see if I can if it's redirect. Okay, yeah, it is. It's redirection. So you guys can see this is for newbies. I was talking about system engineers, so you can get all your hands dirty on these blocks. Please go through them, read them, and definitely come back to us for questions. We will be happy to help you. Okay, so these are all some best practices PS mentioned, where he has already given do's and don'ts. Yeah, so do not run automation scripts without understand. Very good. Yeah, so don't simply jump and implement it, and if something breaks, you come back saying that, hey, I implemented and it broke. So that's why we give all these things, so that when you come back we say, did you read this? It says that do not run automation scripts without understanding the issue. So yes, don't do that. That's foolish. And again, you can post your questions here, and we'll be happy to help. Okay. So that covers your
Hey Deepak, quick question.
Yeah,
Quick
sure.
question on that SCCM client.
Hmm.
So by default, once you install the client, you get that scheduled task, right, for CCM evaluation. So
Hmm.
does that fix all those 29 things, or what's the major role of that CCM eval scheduled task? Would be nice if you can
Okay. Yeah,
put
yeah, yeah.
words together for it.
Definitely, definitely. So CCM Eval is the native tool for SCCM agent, which checks each and every component of SCCM agent available into that particular client, and sees how it is, and if it is broken or it's working, and first evaluation tries to give the details through a state that again goes to your management point, and that's how you get those informations like how what is the problem from the database if you want to take a look. But the actually it is in the back end, it is collecting each and every information, and it is trying to fetch every details of all the components available, uh, and evaluate once in 24 hours, and tries to eliminate. But so, okay, we are good now again. Yes, sorry about that. So it yeah. So yeah, it evaluates. Yeah, it a CCM it evaluates, and once in a 24 hours, and tries to keep those components healthy. And if it is out of CCM eval jurisdictions, it leaves up as it is if it is unable to fix. And that's how we come into the picture by seeing any of those dashboards where we see there is no SCCM client, or SMS agent host has stopped running, or client has not sent the inventory, or the policy has not reached, or the inventory is not collecting the proper information, or I mean to say, and so on, uh, from SCCM agent perspective. So did I answer the question? I would say.
Scheduled task, whatever you get, but the
Mhm.
scheduled task, whatever you have on the client side, about SCCM health evaluation, but that
Mhm.
doesn't fix any issues, right? It's just reporting the tasks to
It's
the console, right?
it's actually a native tool, so it tries to fix, but it's not. It's in eval's jurisdiction. Then only you get it as a failure. If I'm remembering correctly, because I think I gone through eval some 13, 14, 13 years or 12 years before, and I don't know if it has changed the mechanism from then till now. But according to me, it evaluates, it tries to fix those problems, and if it is out of eval's hand, that's how you get notified that it was not fixed, and it says that it's broken. You go and find some other way to fix it. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Just this is Anup here. Just to add on that point, right? So in each versions of SCCM, or latest version, like latest versions of HCM, right? They are improving the eval tasks, right? They are increasing the number of eval tasks based on their troubleshooting experience. Microsoft is doing that. So there are a list of fixes over there in the eval task, and if your client issue is not getting fixed with that eval task, then you need to troubleshoot it manually and fix it manually, or some other automation script you need to use. But that is the basic a basic fixing tool, CCM Eval. So it will fix the number of, I don't remember exactly what is the number of fixes available in that. Basically, for example, if you can say like something like restart services, right, and start some of the services if some services are closed or services are stopped, right? So these are the basic things it will check, and it will try to fix it. If it's not getting fixed, then probably you need to interfere and manually fix it, or using some automation script you need to fix it. I don't know, like, whether, Deepak, you have some client, in some client you can show that. I don't know whether you are in that kind of a situation now to share that XML file and to go through all the tasks
Uh,
which is available.
for this
If
one,
no, like CCM eval, there is a XML file in the CCM eval, right? So if you can go through that, that would be clear for the people. If you are not in a position
That,
to share that at the moment, but then it's fine.
yeah,
yeah,
that's fine, Anup. I was just trying to, get a better understanding for everyone. I have a few questions on it. So, and there is one more item, right? So it's for the Premier Field clients. I mean, for the Premier Field clients, Microsoft provides one tool called, I think, I don't remember the name. It's called as Premier Field CCM repairing tool or client health tool or something like that.
mhm.
Yeah,
So that,
PFC
yeah,
remediation.
PFE, that
yeah,
is PFE,
yeah.
yes.
So it would be nice, what are, if anyone in this
Okay.
channel group, if they are familiar with it, like, what's the added advantage versus this, versus having that, that tool is not available for all the regular people.
No, 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 it is not. It is not. It's
Yeah.
for the specific customers. But
Yeah, they do with the configuration baselines, and whatever the tasks, we have, like, they have multiple, almost 120 plus configuration baseline items, or configuration items,
yes, yes.
which,
So,
yeah.
so about the tool, first of all, why it's called PFE? Because it was developed by a premier field engineer. So he has named it based on that. Okay, and he developed it out of frustration because he's getting a lot of pushbacks from the clients whenever he was going to their locations. And that's how it took the market. And actually, if you really see whatever the PFE is doing, okay. I actually have implemented PFE in my production, so I cannot open that because it's against the company policy. But uh,
basically, even just to update, just to give you a feedback on that, right? PFE, so that is a paid service, right?
yes,
And they are improving or updating their scripts and their policies and everything, right? Their tools every now and then. So I think if you have a contract with Microsoft, uh, then I would recommend to go through that contract and do client health um, s-
yeah,
initiative, or work with Microsoft, right? So that is the best practice, I would say, but it's not free. You need to pay for that, and I think
25,
for
yeah,
most of the
$25,000,
organization. Sorry.
$25,000. It is.
Yeah, and most
Yes.
of the organization, I think $25,000, and those things are like under their contract, so they don't have to worry much. So my recommendation is, yes, you need, if you have client issues in your environment, please go for that service from Microsoft, and that is really good. And you will get every updates. I don't think there is like something like after 1 year it will get expired or something like that, right? So you will get regular updates. That is what my recent experience is. As per my recent experience, I think somebody confirmed me that even if after 1 year, like, you will get the latest update, so it is not going to expire.
Uh, yeah, actually, that is based on a hierarchy, actually, sir. So until unless you're using SCCM, it's a one-time activation and extended support forever. So but you're paying $25,000, and if you're not utilizing your hours with Microsoft, which is good, so you can utilize those hours to purchase that PFE and implement. If you ask Microsoft, BSC will come and implement it for you. But the major thing I wanted to highlight is whatever the checks and fixes the PFE does, I have this particular tool implemented already into my infrastructure. May I know if Jaya is there on this call? Jaya Aditan. He is the core engineer who implemented this for my infrastructure. The whole infrastructure, the same thing. Actually, we have not changed anything a bit also, and it's working. I'm going to say if you compare between PFE and this automation tool, including the scripts, it's 95% same. The only 5% which is yeah, again, that's a Microsoft, so you can give 5% to them. I don't worry about that, but I can vouch for this particular tool, the client health
No,
thing.
I did implement this. I did take this, and I did implement this. I just want to bring the differences. That's it. Yeah, I did
So
implement this, Deepak.
you could have seen the compliance jumped all of a sudden, and
Yep.
you are seeing very less SCCM client issues. I can guarantee that, because yes, I noticed that. I implemented in 2018 December. Uh, for 1806. Yes. So I think I mean to say I didn't implement. The guy Jaya Aditan Sivan. You can probably search him on. He is the core engineer for testing and implementation into our infrastructure. I don't take care of implementation part anymore. I just take the project. So yeah, you can. But if you read this, and if you really match it with this page content with the PFE, I would say is you're simply paying $25,000 to Microsoft at the place of getting it free service from us. Actually, we don't charge you even 1 rupee. Okay, and
That
if you,
that's
and
the
if you,
power of SCCM community, right?
yeah,
So this script, all the credit to that writer of that script, right? All the
yeah,
credit to that writer. I forgot his name, but
Regine, sir,
no,
it is.
no, 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 no. This is not Region's script. This is
This is
somebody else's script.
this is you actually.
No, no, no. But the script is not mine. I'm
uh,
I'm not the owner of the script,
oh,
right?
Anderson
Yeah,
actually.
Anderson. All the
Yeah.
credits to Anderson, right? He did a great job.
Yeah, the remediation scripts we are talking about. Yes, in the back end. Correct. So that was Anderson. Um, okay. So I think we covered everything about. I hope that answers the question whoever asked about PFE. So yeah, I am not saying that no, you have to use this link only, anoopsina.com, and implement. Yes, if you have money, definitely, my friend, you can go ahead and ask the Microsoft DSC to come and activate PFE for you. It's not a very tough task, and it has segregated CIs, configuration items, and configuration baselines if you don't want to implement the auto remediation at a larger infrastructure. So you can test even that. I'm using that too, but this is for my dev infrastructure. We implemented and we tested how it works. So dev and QA, my both are running the same scripts, automation client. By seeing the limited time, I have not even started any explanation, and we have kept the whole. I think we almost covered 1 hour, and they say
So
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
Deepak, so probably people will feel like we are advertising like iocnire.com. I don't want to do that.
So you guys don't want to refer, don't refer, but it's free actually. Okay,
This is not advertisement training, right? So this is basically a troubleshooting or technical training. So yeah, thank you, Deepak, for
you are
anyway.
welcome. So I don't.
Deepak,
Yeah,
couple of questions in the chat. Do you have any log files on the client side which tells any ports are not opened on the client side or server during the client installation?
so that's a manual thing. You have to download port query and you have to execute port query space -n your mp space -e tcp port 290-p. That's gonna give you the port is blocked or open. I don't believe telnet. So port query.exe is the tool name. You can note it down.
Okay. Yeah, it's from the chat actually.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't notice the chat. So
that's fine, Deepak. I will take care of the chat. No worries.
thank you. So yeah, let's move to the troubleshooting. Okay, so there are generic steps for troubleshooting SCCM client agent. So whether you want it or you don't want it, you should know these. Why? Because since you have generic errors, you have generic steps. Okay, so there are some generic specified code 1603. That's a generic that can translate to so many things. So like the same way we have generic troubleshooting. So what we do, these are all the couple of checks we do before we go and say that okay, it's out of my hand. I mean to say, yeah. So the very first thing we check if the WMI repository is consistent and it's intact and it is working. So how do you do that? If you open the command prompt, you run it as administrator, and you execute this command. It says that it is WMI repository is consistent, and if it is not giving any output, means it is broken. And probably I think I have posted in one of the blog like how to process the mobs of WMI so that you can fix your WMI related problem. And yeah, we're gonna cover WMI in depth. So I'm leaving the questions for that particular time. Again, the WebM test is the tool which is used to find out if your WMI instance is intact. So how do you do that? You just open command prompt and you type this command webm test, and if you connect to root CCM INVAGT, it's gonna give you CCM is the namespace for SCCM in WMI, and this is for INVAGT. It is for inventory. So I'm trying to find out if the classes related to the inventory are loaded or not. So if you really open the recursive version of this, so I'm not gonna see, and if I say recursive, it's gonna give me the inventory instances. So you can see these are all you can see that 0 2 10 1 3. So 2 is a 3 is a DDR, if I remember it correctly. 2 is the soft inventory. 10 is I forgot. Actually, I have to open my Bible. So I will have it definitely somewhere here. Yeah, so you can find it on Anoop's website. This it is available. So which is what? So which is hardware inventory, which is software inventory, and discovery. file collection, all these informations, and all these are actions which you can even trigger. Actually, you don't have to really go uh, to the system to trigger. You can just call it from WMIC. And see how it is doing actually. Coming back to the topic, so some people they really do remove those instances. If you see, if the inventory is not happening, some people they come here, they delete all these. There is a delete option, and they delete it, and they trigger the inventory so that this information can be fetched again. I suggest you don't do it for 02. You do it for all, but don't do it for software inventory, because it's never gonna complete. It's gonna block the whole queue for inventory status or DDR. If you trigger the software inventory, and based on your configurations of software for software inventory, it may take more than 24 hours to complete this software inventory. Again, I'm telling based on the settings you have given into your software inventory, which you are trying to pull up. If you have given too many things to pull, it's definitely going to take 24 hours. And by you coming here, deleting this action ID, that's gonna never come place, and you have to again reinstall the SCCM client. And the weird part is, if you come back and trigger the inventory, it says that inventory in progress following up in queue, and it puts all other inventory again back to the queue, saying that software inventory is in progress. Once this is completed, rest all will be executed later. Okay, so I suggest you don't do that. I have seen couple of article people explaining how to delete it and re-trigger the those actions by going to the configuration manager client. That's not a good idea though. Okay, so this is one more hack I would say. So you don't have to go to control panel, and you don't have to go to configuration manager to open your configuration manager. You can go to start run and type control SMSCFGRC. It opens your configuration manager applet. Okay, so that saves one step for me. Okay, coming back to the topic. So this is how you check the instances. This was what I was explaining for this particular step. Okay, uh, now distributed com, that is also called dcom. Okay, so all these are operating system core values. Okay, if it is broken, this is not SCCM fault that it's broken, it is actually your operating system fault. So don't at the place of taking hold of SCCM agent, you get hold of your operating system, because this is not SCCM component. This is the OS component, DCOM server launcher process. And distributed transition coordinator is the core operating system service. We just use it for a couple of our things, shifting things here and there. Okay, so yeah, you check your DCOM service is running, distributed transaction coordinator, and if it's not running, you need to start them. You need to make sure this is automatic, so it doesn't have to go to manual for enabling it. Okay, now the next thing comes in the queue is permissions on the WMI. I've seen this a lot, that you're trying to install and say that you don't have permission to create a service, or you get a status proxy agent.dll unable to register, or you get 0x8007005, which is access denied, unable to explore. or you get 64C, that is again unable to process, or path not found, and that is again Windows. Right? It's not, none of these are doing for SCCM actually. So yeah, what do actually? You open WMI MGMT, that is Windows Management Instruments Management. Sorry. And these are all the controls. If you go to the property, you will see a security tell. Oh, sorry. WMI MGMT. That's how you open. You go to properties. It's gonna connect to the WMI control, and this is where you see the security. This is the root. This is the root of your WMI, and if you see the security, you can see who and all is having access to this. You can see. I cannot see because this is not my office laptop. This is my personal laptop, so I have not given myself access admin rights, so I cannot see that. If you want to see, you should have admin rights, and you can go to security and you can add here everyone, and that's how they get access. Okay, you can see. You can. I have written it here actually. Security local systems should have a full control on root CCM and root CCM INVAGT. INVAGT is again the inventory part, which I just showed couple of minutes before here. Okay. Now again, distributed COM permission, DCOM. So why this guy is really blabbering about DCOM again and again? Let's see that. Okay. So NFC, you actually open the distributed COM, and if you go for checking the property, why I'm getting is, this is the default property of a distributed COM, okay, which is connect and identity. It is supposed to be the very same. Actually, in 99% of the cases, it remains same at the client level. I have seen couple of people, they change it to something for servers. I mean to say SCCM agent being installed on server. If you go to this, you see something, some other authentication level, because their particular API is not supporting the distributed COM using this level. So they change it. Now if you change it, the authentication level from SCCM is using these two, which is connect and identify. If you change it, I'll not be able to authenticate anything. Okay, and this is my security. This is where I should make sure that everyone has access. Self full control. Okay, if there is not full control, you might end up in getting those lousy errors, which is access denied, or unable to process, or whatnot. Okay, so that's a decomposition. I have a screenshot here, and where or how to change these, or what is the default value. I have already mentioned it here, and I also showed the demo, so I think probably I can skip it, and I can come to the next level. Okay, so yeah, now we are getting interesting. Okay, so couple of general errors I have seen in last 14 years, and the most problematic errors, like MXXML, it's failed to connect to the server, and it says 0x80080005. This is the error, and it's out of thin. I don't know what is happening. You see everything is fine from SSN perspective. So this MXXML is not related to SCCM agent. Actually, this is a core operating system component, which is a It's also known as a Windows Installer Service, Microsoft XML. So if you see this, it means your Windows installer is broken. Now, how to fix the Windows installer? You can definitely do it on a Windows 10 machine by using this. I again suggest don't execute on a Windows server until unless you have a valid CRQ in place, because you're changing a major service, that is Windows installer from server perspective. Okay, so that's how you unregister Windows installer, by using mxiexe/unregister, and when you go and check, the Windows installer service will be vanished and you'll not see anything into services. Again, once you come back to the command prompt, make sure you are opening the command prompt as administrator, and if you enter this particular command rest server, it's gonna register back the Windows installer service, and after that you try to install SCCM agent, it succeeds for sure. But now let's see if it is still you are seeing the same thing, because couple of the REST32 DLLs are missing for that particular machine, and that's how you end up, even though you have repaired your MSXML's Windows installer service. So I suggest you see these are all the DLLs which is supported, which is supportive for your Windows installer, and this is the in-depth troubleshooting. So you see how the DLL is getting unregistered and then re-registered, and then again this particular DLL MSI HMT I'm unregistering, and again I'm re-registering it using the same REG SVR. REG SVR is register server 32, which is a core Windows command. Okay. After doing these, you try to install the SCCM agent. If it still fails, you can see please install the MXXML 6.0 manually. So you can try that. If it doesn't work, then definitely you can come back to any one of us. We will definitely help you guys to see how we can get rid of it. Okay. This I think I already spoke about 64C. I think you guys will not remember this one. If you remember, probably then you have a very good memory. 4.00593.1.0001. That was SMS 2007. So if you somehow migrated your machine from SMS 2007 to 2012, after that you have same hierarchy, and you are using, and you have migrated it to 1506, and so on. So if you see this particular key, it will be still there into the OS. And I'm pretty much sure if you're migrating from SCCM 2007 to 2012 and 2012 to MECM, I can blindly consider that will be a very legacy OS. So you will have this entry into the registry by two keys. You can go to this particular path, you can find these keys about the products, you can remove it, and then you'll be able to, first of all, if you're trying to install SCCM 2012, you'll be able to do it. But I recently faced it for a current branch too. So when I tracked that machine down, it was Windows 7 embedded, which was specifically released for that particular site. I mean, so Microsoft customized the embedded machines. You get your own browser. You will not have Internet Explorer. That's weird. I know that, and that's how I came across to this for the current branch. And when we deleted this particular key, we were able to install the SCCM agent without any issues. Okay, and again the generic troubleshooting remains same, and so you are still bound to check the WMI repository, check the decom permissions, and check the distributed transaction coordinator. Apart from these, okay, so that's a bible for us. A couple of more error codes like 641, and this service has been marked for deletion. You guys would have seen that. Okay, so I think Anup said uh, it's totally up to me if I can share these. I share this PPT, so I can share it with each and every one of you, and you can go through this, because just reading it, I don't think so it makes any sense unless you read it first. Okay, and if I see if I have anything most important. So these are all again generic error which I have collected. Actually, these were the real time troubleshooting errors when I started as a SCCM administrator, and I was looking into it, and I was making a note of it. And at the time, Bala was my mentor again, so I noted it down, and after that I started I think from last year I started publishing it onto our wonderful website, which again says one or two errors, and still we are yet to complete that. Okay, uh, this one I think I already covered, WMI troubleshooting. So what we had in the agenda, so yeah, I think we have come to the last one, which is questions. So I would love to answer your questions from today or tomorrow, or whenever you faced anything related to SCCM agent troubleshooting. The floor is open for questions.
Hi, Deepak.
Safe to do like Windows uninstaller and reinstaller, especially with server operating system.
Sorry?
About you told about re-register the Windows installer for MS Excel and all. It is safe. It is safe on the server operating system to do that process.
See, actually, it is not safe to perform any troubleshooting directly on the server unless you have the approval from the application owners. Actually, now this is again from process perspective I'm talking about. If you give me a dummy server, I can, yes, definitely scrap it in that 2 or 3 hours. But if you are really thinking from troubleshooting perspective, if you have the downtime, suppose you do any of those and it reboots, then their application might get affected. If it's your test server, go ahead, do whatever you want. Okay, so that's why I told be careful when you are doing on servers.
Yeah, because we need to be very careful because doing all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. I've gone to that road once.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi Deepak, I have a question on client push installation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when you trigger client push installation, see what are the logs at the server side, and is there any particular logs specially created for CPI on client missions as well?
Okay, so yes, that's a very good question actually for CCR. So hang on a second, let me see. I think I have. I think I have seen that on our site. Okay. For SCCM Client, okay. Oh, I might have to look it. So yeah, so okay, I'm just gonna take the question anyway. For you. Give me just one moment here. Yeah. So you're sorry about that. So your question was you're performing CCR, and you want to see which is the log you can see from server side, and which is you are doing client push, and you want to see which log you want to see at the server end and at the client end. Did I understood it correctly?
Means, how
Yeah.
long it takes time to trigger on the client side, and how that process is we can see by log. like
Okay,
function.
so yeah, so the general mechanism I can explain, and please stop anyone who is well online if I'm somewhere going out of the league. So as soon as you trigger the client push installation, it generates a CCR record in your inbox folder, and it does that into batches if you have several clients. So uh, uh, and the inbox process those records in batches, not all together, and it starts installing the SCCM agent. Again, from the client end, you have to see uh, CCM setup.log once again to see what is the status of SCCM agent installation. From server end, let me just read out that log information which
Yeah, and adding to that, one more question: is my CCM setup log tells like in which way I am installing the client, whether manually or CPI? Like,
uh, actually, CCM setup.log will have the command line execution. So based on that, you can determine how it was executed. And to say, if you see this ninth or tenth line of CCM setup.log, you will have that. Before it says no client is currently installed, continuing the installation, you'll either find either 13 or 14th line of the log when it starts checking up if a firewall agent is installed, if VC++ is installed, and it puts all these things to download into the queue if they are missing. So hope that answers the questions, right?
yeah, got it.
Okay, and you can see as I was saying, server side SCCM logs. I just showed one page from I'm to say client side and server side log informations. So the hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The seventh log is CCM dot log, which records the client push installation activities. Like it's already mentioned on the page. So hope that answers
Are
the
you
question.
showing? Are you showing anything?
No, I'm not actually. I just let me just share this link. So yeah, those two or three blogs which and it's two or three pages which I referred. So this is one of the page where you have SCCM log files, and if you open the server side log file page, the seventh log is for client post installation. Did you receive the chat?
Yeah, we got it, Deepak.
Yes.
So, Deepak, Sujin here. I have a question.
Yes, sure.
So, what is a WMI cache clearing? Because I heard that when you reinstall the client, the cache will get cleared, and Microsoft has a separate tool to clear this cache as well.
Yeah.
So, how it works and how it actually impact our client installation and installation?
So yeah. So first of all, you should understand the client track and the SCCM 10 track. Okay. So you have okay. Uh, yeah, better. So if you really see so do you have a CCM cache in C drive Windows, and you have a temp cache in C drive Windows CCM2, if you notice. So why we say that don't uninstall, because if you do that, it's gonna remove all the logs actually, first of all. That's how you lose the track of what went wrong actually. And that's why I said in the beginning itself, never just jump and reinstall the SCCM client. That's not a correct solution actually. You try to find out where is the problem, you eliminate the problem, you will have the fix. So did I answer that question about the CCM cache and why MS says that?
No, I didn't ask for the CCM cache. I asked for the WMI cache.
The WMI cache from the client end.
I would say yes, because I heard this from Microsoft, because we had a case with Microsoft. Then they said that, after resolving the case, then they said, when I asked what was the solution, there was like, we had cleared the WMA cache. They had a tool to do that. And when I asked for the tool, they said, no, we can't provide the tool, but you can, the WMA cache will be cleared, when you reinstall the SCCM. So I couldn't ask much, so I thought I will get some idea
Okay.
from here.
Yeah. Definitely, you are in luck actually. So, hang on a second. Let me just say once again. Okay. Okay. So, can you see my 160?
Yep.
So let me search about me. Okay. So you can see 13th March. 13th March. Oh, that was last month. So error verify inventory action status failed. Config manager SCCM. That's me. So if you scroll all the way, it's a very big blog. Keep coming. Keep coming. The debugger. Now the snippet. I've given it. So can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the script to process the mob available into WMI. So in Microsoft Word, we say that they have cleared the cache and it fixed. In our Word, we don't really do that actually. We just process the mob so that it allows us to inject any information into WMI, even though if I'm not authorized. Okay, so this is how you, if you
Can you just
what I have a good read. It's gonna take half an hour to read just the main topic of that blog. It's a big blog. So yeah, so that's how you clear the cache actually. So and after that, once you execute that, you say that, hey, I cleared the cache. Now I try to install the agent. It's working. No, actually, you in the backend, you really process the maps. That's how it allowed you to register itself into the core WMI operating system components. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. And what are the other ways you get to know that it's the exact issue with the WMA, not that checking the WMA repository health. So I know that when we checking the repository health, if it is not the stable, then we say that there's something with the WMI. And when I check the CCM setup log, there are some error code which says that issue with the WMI. Exactly, I forgot the exact error code, but still I remember that when I search with some error keys, it says that issue with the WMI. But you say that we are not supposed to do anything with the WMI server. In fact, I am working only for the servers. So how do you identify this is the exact issue with the server? Is there any exact error code, or is there any something which I can identify?
So well, I think I did cover that in one of the PPT where it says verify repository. Let me just go back. Yeah. So this is how you know that whether your repository is fine or not.
Yeah,
Okay.
this I know,
Uh,
Deepak.
okay. And if you I mean to say, after this, even though you tested and still you are getting something related to WMI, then you again jump to the link I gave you just a few minutes ago, and you copy that script and you save it as a batch, and
Yeah.
you run that and wait for it to complete. It takes I think probably 180 seconds to complete.
Okay.
So once it completes, then you try installing it again and it works. So What I wanted to say is before that, uh, you make sure you have taken downtime from the owner, application owner. Okay,
Okay.
so because sometimes you get into trouble and you will have to reboot the server. Sometimes you are executing that and your WMI is stuck on starting itself, and if WMI is not starting, believe me, most of the things will start falling apart. Okay.
I know.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's not a good thing. And if it's a physical box, you are toasted. Before we move to any of those crucial things, we should make sure that we have a downtime, we have approval to touch any of those things. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, and moreover, if you see anything related to WMI, first of all you should have the WMI tool with you, so that you can WMI Explorer 2.0, probably you can
Yeah,
Google. I think
I have that. I have.
yeah, so you can check and you can see explore, and you can match the core WMI what do you say, instances, and you can see if you're able to connect. If you're able to, then you are fine. Okay.
Okay.
Hope that answers.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome.
Hey Deepak, in
What?
general, in general, we would recommend our technicians not to touch anything on the WMI.
Mhm.
Because if something if the WMI doesn't start up fine, as you said, or something, everything goes right. So we recommend them to do a CCM repair if they can't run the Windows management. If they feel like there is a problem with the WMI, we recommend them to do the CCM repair. And
Mhm.
then if that doesn't help, then we'd request our techs to bounce that ticket back to the other team, to a
Mhm.
level up team. Is that a right approach, or do you recommend anything else?
Okay, so good. If that guy keeps bouncing the ticket to next level, he's never gonna learn. Okay, so this is my personal opinion. Actually, uh, he should, at the pace of doing the robotics checks, he should really find out what's the root cause. Okay, about the before running CCM repair. And yes, repair.msi will be the next log which will be printed into C drive Windows CCM logs repair msi.log, and you can check what is it is doing. If it fixes, well and good. If it's not fixing, he should, if he is interested to learn again, okay, it's totally his will, find out why it didn't and what is the exact root cause. That's how he starts poking into the next level thing. And once he goes and when he says that, hey, this is the problem and this is the fix, at the place of them giving the fix, if he's not having time, well and good, but if he gives, he will definitely improve the technical abilities, is what my personal thinking. Okay, that's how I was actually forced into it.
Hi, Deepak.
Yeah.
This is regarding metered interconnection. Okay,
Mhm.
in our infra, we have disabled. I mean, we are not allowing clients when the machines has been identified as a metered internet connection. Is there any way to make the communication from the machine to a CCM when
uh,
the machine are on metered internet connection?
okay, so I'm sorry, first of all, I didn't understand the question completely. Can you please repeat that for me once again?
Yeah, sure. Okay, when machines on metered internet connection, the
Mhm.
client status will get changed to no, which means client will not get any communication from the MP or from the CCM point of view. Now,
So
what I'm
yeah,
asking
so the
is
client is connecting over the metered internet connection.
correct, correct.
Okay, yeah. So I think the metered value you're defining 12 hours once, 24 hours once is gonna send each and every information, right?
We completely disconnected communication at all. We are not allowing any communication between. From the
Okay.
client settings, we defined it. Now, my question is that when we define client settings not allow any communication when machines are on metered connection, can we make any other way that SCCM to communicate to perform patching or any emergency deployments?
So let's go to the old school days actually. So now I did patching for that particular client. Okay, and I don't want to log in and check each and every machine for my patch troubleshooting. I want to really see from the database side, like I deployed patches for 100 machines. What's the status of all those 100 machines, because the deployment has reached the deadline. It should trigger the installation. So that's when the client starts changing the state, and there are around 9 or 10, if I remember it correctly. If I have Kranti on the call, he will remember definitely, my old colleague. So I think around 9 or 10 were compliant, pending system restart, downloading updates, downloaded updates, failed to download updates, non-compliant, unknown, and whatnot. So if you want to monitor the live status of those machines, you cannot do that, first of all, because the state message will not be getting processed. As you said, we have blocked all the communications, and that is required, which happens on RPC 135. Please correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. Okay, I might say, yeah, I might refer a wrong port, but yes, and that's how you get all those informations from state messages into the database, and you fetch it from the database. Now you said you have blocked all the communications and you want any other method to get the status of those clients, and you cannot allow the communication how it's in a normal behavior, how it acts, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so I'm sorry, I've never come across like these situations where we are breaking purposefully, we are breaking the communication between the client and the server for a specific interval of time, and then we are forcing the client or finding out any other way from the client and to fetch the details. I think FSP was one of the way to get all these details, but I'm pretty much sure I have never done that, and I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for that question. So Anup, if you like, you have anything, please.
Hi, Deepak. I'm Subhash here. When we check, when we go to the monitoring and check the client status, like we see that there are lots of client. It shows that the certificate is invalid, and the client would try to re-register. But when we check that client, it shows that the client is fine. So do we have to troubleshoot on those clients, or it's okay?
You have a client dashboard where you have defined. Hang on a second. Let me just put these things on. And to you can unmute yourself and you can speak when it's required. Okay, so that was a lot of disturbance, so sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, if it says that certificate issues, any of those things, you should always fetch the you should always fetch the latest details actually from the client, and if it says client is having some certificate problem and all those things, and you said you already checked client ID manager and everything is fine from client end, so your dashboard should consist of all these checks, like when the last inventory happened, when the last policy arrived, when the certificate check happened, when the scan completed, probably. Let me just check if I can find a link for the dashboard on our site. I saw a couple of days ago. SCCM dashboard. Okay, so I have Mohan's dashboard. That is for Power BI, and again Mohan for Power BI again. 2002 features. So can I get back to you about the dashboard thing? Whoever asked that particular question, because I need to search. I'm pretty much sure I have seen SCCM dashboard on our site actually.
Yeah, because it also says that the machine would re-registered automatically.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It will. So, yeah. So if it is not there, I would take permission from Anup and I'll write a dashboard for you. But yes, I would love to. I would love to have a dashboard. So at the place of going here and there, you can fetch all the. That's the benefit of having SSRS. Actually, that's why you need SSRS, right? You don't have to manually go and fetch anything. It will be all into everything for you into a single plate. You can eat. Hope I answered that.
Yep. Thank you.
So we have 8 more minutes, and probably we can take probably a couple of 2 or 3 more. And if it's simple,
Hi, Deepak.
yeah, yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah, I think the junior SCCM engineer is wants to talk to me, and I would love to talk to him.
Deepak, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Deepak?
Loud and clear. Yes.
Okay. So just a quick question. What is the okay? So at what state is my SCCM in the SCCM console? My client is telling no.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll give you a scenario. So say that for argument's sake, you installed a client sometime back. So it does not matter lower version of the client or higher version of the client. You installed a client, and when we monitor at some point, it says client no. And would like to understand if there is a default SCCM behavior that it puts the client to no.
Okay, so I don't think so. We are specifying anything. First of all, if I understood the question correctly, that there are parameters according to you. There are parameters which will be setting up the clients into that particular state where it says SCCM client no. No, sir, we don't do that actually. If there is some problem at the client end, any of the components are broken, anything which is not working need to be fixed, then the client comes to that particular states, and client directly doesn't go moves to the client no state first. According to me, it goes to inactive for certain period of time, and once it serves that in inactive period, then it moves to client no. Or if it is recently discovered from active directory and still it was not caught by the auto client push, it stays into that particular state for some time. So yes, sir, we never force the client to go to no state.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Probably 5 more minutes, sir. So last two.
Hi, I have one question.
Yes,
Would,
sir.
when it moves to absolute and when it moves to
I'm sorry, sir. I lost you in the beginning, actually.
when the client will be converted to the absolute, when the client will be inactive.
Obsolete. Yeah.
Absolute.
So the question is when the client goes obsolete.
Correct. When the client goes inactive. Two conditions, two cases.
So did I understood the question correctly? When the client goes inactive and the client goes obsolete.
Yes.
So so first of all, this is not dependent on anything. Actually, this is the default configuration, which is the yeah again, and you can change that. Okay, let me just check if I have anything on the next side. Okay, give me 1 second here. You said inactive. So hey, I have. So when the client your question was when the client can be marked as inactive. So the client can be marked as inactive when it fails to update the SCCM due to issues such as loss of connection, restrictive firewall settings, or the client is corrupted, or the system discovery process ran and missed that object, or those objects are not imported into SCCM. So that's when it is marked as inactive. So what was your next question, sir?
Absolute. When the
Obsolete.
machine will be marked to be absolute.
Obsolete. Okay, I have that too. Mm, yeah, so inactive is obsolete state actually. It says inactive, obsolete, yes. So again, it's the same thing. By default, the client is marked as inactive if they haven't completed any one of the following in 7 days, which is requesting the policy update, sent a hardware inventory, or the heartbeat. So it is marked as obsolete. Okay, did that answer the question, sir?
Yes, Deepak, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Deepak. This is Gopal here.
Mhm.
I have one question regarding the automation client repair tool.
I'm
Is
sorry.
that tool helpful? That tool
Sorry,
helpful to deploy on the server?
sir. I lost you. In between. Actually, can you repeat the question from the beginning?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm talking about that the automation repair tool, which
Mm-hmm.
helps repair the client automatically. So
Yes,
is
sir.
that tool helpful to use in the server?
Actually, I would say yes. I've not seen it breaking anything. That's my personal view. Okay, and I think I'm using it from past 1 year. Uh, in my lab, in my QA, in my dev, uh, and in my home also. I'm to say the home lab, which is personal lab. So till now I don't see anything it's breaking. The only clever part is before you implement anything, actually you should read it and you should do it. Okay.
Okay, and one more question: is that tool also help to generate the DDR for the machine? Like suppose I want to generate the DDR for multiple machines at a time.
So there is a configuration.xml file to use that tool. You can tweak that, and you can ask to trigger the DDR or any other thing based on your requirement. Okay.
Okay. So one last question. See, I've seen sometime that many accounts are live as inactive in the console. But however, I
Mhm.
check that I'm able to ping them, and I see the services for the SMS client. It's running,
Mhm.
even
And it
though the
says
machines are showing as inactive. Yeah.
so we are talking about normal laptops, desktops, or server
Yeah,
end
yeah,
of.
correct. No, I'm talking about the normal laptop and desktop.
So if it's a laptop desktop and it's a normal laptop and desktop and it is available over the LAN, and if you're seeing, then definitely something is problem. Okay, either it's behind firewall, or it is in touch with Palo Alto two-factor authentication. If nobody logs into that a machine, it doesn't get authenticated to your proxy server, and that's how it gets marked as inactive, because there was no authentication passed by that machine. Okay, within last 24 hours. That is one thing I can think of. Okay. If your network infrastructure is marking things like HTTPS header containing information is interpreted as blocked content, then again it moves the client into inactive or no state. So I would like you to check with the network team on that, or you can do a tracer space -d, and you can find out where the connectivity is broken. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I think I have gone 1 minute over, and I can see the screen of Anup, and I would pass the command to Anup again back, and hope it was information session. You guys can reach us on our any of the pages how to manage the anupcnar.com. We welcome all the questions.
Yeah, Deepak. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. And it would be great if you can share the PP to all of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to our core team. So from there we can see how they want to distribute it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak.